Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mack Flash Trivia. My name is Francois and I will be your host for the next little bit. This is Mack Flash Trivia presents a big special occasion, Friday night, bing bang boom, hoo ha, wee hee hee, seriously trivia edition. I'm trying a new name. Is it catchy? It doesn't really roll off the tongue. Hello and welcome everybody to Seriously Trivia. My name is Francois, as I said, and welcome to Friday night, a very special Friday night. It is Sue's birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to Sue Perry. She's in the chat. Feel free to send her virtual drinks and cheers and whatnot. We'll be playing along tonight with some special categories written specifically for her and some of your favorite puzzles as well throughout the night. So let's get to it. This is how tonight is going to work. It is Seriously Trivia. So we're going to be playing a sort of board game slash game show of sorts. What you should have on you is all of your gear. I have most of my gear. I have my computer, got my camera, I've got my beer here, I got my my sound machine just in case. Thank you. So let's get going with the way the game's going to work today. You should have something to write on and with, whether it's a whiteboard and a marker or a notepad, pen, and paper. You can also have a separate scoreboard if you're competing against people in your yard or at home. The way it's going to work is like this. You're going to have 10 categories, and we're going to do that twice. We have 2 rounds tonight. Each round, 10 categories, 10 games, mixing puzzles and trivia. You guys are going to pick them in the chat by letting them, flow in there, by letting me know which categories you want to do and what order we're going to do them in. And when you do so, we're going to pick that category, and we're going to play it, damn it. We're going to play it all. We're going to take some 20 seconds or so per question, 3 of them in each category. You're going to jot those down on your piece of paper or your board, because immediately after I will reveal the answers. You'll be able to mark yourselves, share your score in the chat, and of course tally your score for the end of the game so you can brag about how great you are. I think that's pretty much it. Let's get started with tonight's game. If you're ready, cheers everybody. Let's play. This is Seriously Trivia round number 1. And look at all these people. Look at that, eh? All right, it's gonna be a beautiful night. I think I've got some pretty good categories. Last Friday, bit of a tough game. Hopefully, I did a little better this week. Here's some classics. It's Life on the Chain Gang. We got DITLOIDS, which again did not know. Next time I'll have a name. So sue me. We've got Tote. Actually, that says to a T. We've got Same But Diff. We've got Quiz On. Songs in the Key of Mystery. Do We Dare? And Sweet. Nice, eh? These are your categories for round number 1. Some of these on topics that Sue herself has requested for her birthday. So hopefully they're good for you and good for everybody else. Piper in the Skies, smart, got ahead of the game, already requested DITLOIDS as number 1. How about that? Boom! So we're going to be starting off with some DITLOIDS, and then after that it goes out to songs, then it goes to Sue Me, and then it goes to Tote, to a T, and then I'll write the rest of them down. Quiz On. There we go. I'll write the rest of them down while we are playing the first game. It is DITLOIDS, everybody. Nothing complicated here, just a bunch of DITLOIDS puzzles. What's a DITLOID? It's when we take a common expression, saying, or a statement of fact and reduce it down to an acronym, such as this one in the category of literature. Say 3 equals BM, 3 equals blind mice. All right, so let's take a look at your 3 DITLOIDS coming up for this game, starting right now. Animals. 8L on a S. Number 2 in your DITLOIDS category. This is a measurement, 168 H in a W. And finally, your third Ditloid coming up right now. Literature. 2 equals USS in C. And that's how you play your Ditloids category right off the bat. And you guys have managed to pick the 10 categories in a certain order. So we've got them all ready to rock and roll. Let's see if your answers are ready to rock and roll with mine. Create some other little baby answers. Let's take a look at your first one. We had 8 legs on a spider in the domain of animals. Number 2, we had 168 hours in a week. And finally, at number 3, 2 ugly stepsisters in Cinderella. Give yourself a point for each of those that you got correct. And that brings us to the end of the Ditloids already. Share your score in the chat, of course. We'd love to know how well you did. And hello to all of our teams. I'll try to do some shout outs as we go, but it is tougher in this quick going game. But I do see the COVID commenter here, the Christ Bunchers. We've got, what else do we have over here? The Société de Sneaky Sneak. Hello and welcome. The 3 Must Get Beers are here, or 3 Must Get Bears, as a matter of fact. You know, sometimes you gotta switch it up. You gotta switch up that diet. The Naughty Hookers are here as well. All right, let's move on to your next one. It is songs. Look at me. Let me look. I just moved the paper to somewhere I can see it. That'll make sense. Let's take a look at songs in the key of... It's songs in the key of the 80s. As per request, let's take a look at 3 questions about songs from the 80s. What band gave Love a bad name in 1986? And as a bonus, name the album. In number 2 for songs in the key of the 80s, what is the Amorino or Child Angel doing on the cover of Van Halen's album 1984? And finally, number 3, in songs in the key of the 80s, as per the chorus, Whitney Houston wanted to dance with somebody, but also do what with somebody? And that's it for your category, songs in the key of the 80s. 3 questions about classic songs from the 80s. Let's take a look at the answers that I was looking for on those. Number 1, Bon Jovi sings, Bon Jovi is the band that gave Love. You Give Love a Bad Name. And that was off Slippery When Wet. That's right, I love that album when I was a kid. I still do now. I still like it now. Let's take a look at number 2. We've got The Angel is stealing cigarettes. If you said smoking, that is fine. I'm sure that he wasn't stealing them to just stick them in his ear. So there you go. If you said stealing cigarettes or smoking, that is quite all right. And number 2, she wants to feel the heat when somebody, yeah, I want to dance with somebody who loves me. Dun, 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 burn, dun. There you go. That's your 3 answers right there out of 4 points. Bon Jovi was 1 point. Slippery When Wet was a bonus point. And then we got smoking or stealing cigarettes and feel the heat. Give me your 4 points. Give them to me now. Lots of nice fours in there. I think I picked some pretty good songs. We got a couple of twos, and that's all good. We'll all catch up at some point. We have all sorts of different categories coming up, such as Sue Me. So Sue Me. Let's take a look at So Sue Me. This one I wrote in honor of our birthday girl. These are questions about things named some form of Sue. These are not people. These are things that are named after some form of Sue. All right, let's take a look at number 1. It's a French dessert consisting of a thin pancake and a sauce of caramelized sugar and butter and Grand Marnier flambé. Number 2, this one's not even a person. What is the name for a rotating kitchen shelf? None of these are people. That introduction is a remnant of a previous category. Anyway. And finally, number 3, Société de Sneaky Sneak. I wish I could go for a couple of those right now. Let's take a look at number 3. Cooking technique where food is sealed in a bag, then immersed in temperature-controlled water. And there you go. That is So Sue Me, questions about things that are named some form of Sue. Lock those answers in. I get the feeling we got a good score coming up. Hopefully a nice 2 or maybe 3 out of 3 if you've got a creative mind. So number 1, we've got Crêpe Suzette. Crêpe Suzette is your first one. It is a delicious dessert, and usually prepared tableside. With the whole flambe and stuff. It's very exciting. Number 2, we have a Lazy Susan. The Lazy Susan, that's right, a rotating shelf. And finally, the last one, it is sous vide. No, wait, I was going for this one. That's the one I wanted. Sous vide, because it rhymes. Give yourself a point for each of those, and your score in the chat. Got some great scores coming in here. Let me tell you a little bit about some of our sponsors this week. We had Grasses Landscaping, specializing in landscape design and build for any size job. They do property maintenance and spring and fall cleanups. So remember, if it's not grass, just say pass, and you can contact them at the number that's currently on the screen, and check them out on Facebook as well. Thank you very much, Grasses Landscaping. Super 3 out of 3 for some of these teams out there. Very nice. You know what? I saw Sue call out a category, and because it's your birthday, that category is all the way at the bottom. But you know what? It's your birthday, so we're gonna play it now. You asked for Do We Dare, and you're hoping that it's about the certain decimal system. But no, these are all answers that will contain the letter combination D-E-W somewhere in the word. Not the letters D-E-W scattered around. No. The letter combination do, or D-E-W, somewhere in the word. Let's take a look at the questions to go with that. Number 1, it's a superficial coating of cloth, paper, or leather caused by fungi. So a superficial coating of cloth, paper, or leather. Not or, but of. Number 2, not top to bottom or front to back. And finally, number 3 contains the letter combination DEW to cure a dog of Dirofilaria immitis. I probably said that wrong. Dirofilaria immitis is what I want to say goes. To cure a dog of Dirofilaria immitis. Tried to figure out a different way to pronounce it again, just in case one of them, one of them's bound to work. There you go. All of these answers should have the letter combination DEW somewhere in them. Let's see if you were able to do that. First one, we had a light coating of fungi. Sounds delicious. It is mildew. That's right, the one you were probably waiting for this entire time. Number 2, we had sideways. Not top to bottom, not front to back, but sideways. There it is, DEW. Sneaky, sneaky, right in there. And last but not least, to deworm. To deworm a dog is to cure it from that disease. Mildew, sideways, deworm. Give yourself a point for each of those. Dinner at the Salty Dog tomorrow. Is that an invitation? I'll go. I don't know if I got plans tomorrow. I'll have to figure that out. All right, let's take a look at your upcoming category. We still got a few left on the board here, and according to my math, we've got To a T, or Tote, coming up. Totes my goats. Let's play this one. To a T is a fun category. The answers to each of these questions start and end with the letter T. So there's your hint right there. Each answer will start and end with the letter T, kind of stretching on that previous theme. But let's take a look at this one right now. This can be a Pontiac car, a file transfer format, or simply a word meaning strong, fast-moving water. Remember, the answers to these questions all begin and end with the letter T. For example, this one, you used to be limited to 140, but now you get 280 characters to do this. And finally, number 3. Whereas RX is prescription and DX is diagnosis, what is TX in medical shorthand? And that is how you play To a T. Tote, baby. That's totes how you play that game. 3 words that begin and end with the letter T. Let's take a look to see if yours match mine. Number 1, it is a torrent. Could be a Pontiac car, could be a file sharing format, or could just be very fast moving, a very strong and fast moving current of water. Number 2, we have a tweet. To tweet, that's right, 280 characters now. And last but not least, a treatment. I will also accept a transplant because they've used it for both, especially if the treatment is a transplant. Give yourself a point for each of those, and out of 3, let me know what your score is. Well, it looks like I'll be having to hang out at the Salty Dog tomorrow. I mean, who might have turned down shots in great company? Anybody wants to join us, we should just do a whole Mack Flash invades Salty Dog tomorrow. That should be great. Some nice 3s, some 2s, some 1s, some more threes. I love it. I love seeing these scores. Thank you very much. And thanks for all showing up in such large numbers tonight. Don't forget, after this, you can join us in the Games Lounge at 10 o'clock, where me and the Mack Flash crew will be playing some board games together and with you, each taking turns hosting one card from a different board game. It's a great fun time all the time. So let's move on right now to quiz on your next category. And it goes like this. It's quiz on food. Yay! Food, another category requested by the birthday girl. Let's take a look at 3 assorted questions about food. What would you expect a dish to be served with if it was offered à la mode or à la mode? Number 2, the toucan is the mascot of Fruit Loops cereal and what adult beverage? Like, I know what it means, and I know what it's intended to say, but every time I read the word adult like that, I always think pornographic. And I was like, what is wrong with this pornographic beverage? But that's not what it means. That's not what an adult beverage is, by the way. Just FYI, in case you're like me, that's not what I meant. It's not. It doesn't like suddenly make you take all of your clothes off or something. Well, I mean it does, but eventually, not suddenly. Number 3, duck sauce. A dipping sauce in American Chinese restaurants is not in fact made of duck, but originally for duck. What is it? I mean, it does, but like not like whoosh, you know? It doesn't just fall off you. Depends on who you are, I guess. That's tequila. Right. That's the one. Well, there you go. That's quiz on food. 3 different questions about food coming at you. Let's take a look at the answers that I was looking for. See if they match with yours for points. Number 1, ice cream if you're talking about dessert. Gravy if you're talking about a main meal. That's right. A la mode can mean either ice cream or gravy. If you wrote either of those, give yourself 1 point. Do not give yourself 2 points for each. But a big pat on the back. Definitely give yourself one of those for knowing. Number 2, Guinness beer. That's right. The mascot of Guinness beer is a toucan. And number 3, if you said sweet and sour or plum sauce, because sweet and sour sauce is made of plums, or is basically plum sauce anyway. So sweet and sour sauce or plum sauce, basically the little packets you get to put on your egg rolls. That's called duck sauce. Yeah, you learned something today. Give yourself a point for each of those, and that's out of 3. Gravy. So like if you get like turkey a la mode has gravy on it, you know, or yeah, so that's yeah, a la mode for a meal means gravy, for dessert it means ice cream. And then yes, as Société des Sneaky says, you do not want to mix those up because that could make some very interesting Tim Burton-esque type meals / desserts. Let's move on to your next one. We've got same but diff coming up. This is one of our fun categories with homonyms normally, but this one is all about homographs. So homographs, they look the same and they sound slightly different and mean different things. For example, here we got farmers need to produce the most produce in the summer. It's better that way. It's definitely easier. So I want you to fill in the gaps with homographs, 2 words, or I guess 2 words, yeah, that are spelled the same but pronounced slightly differently and mean different things for the context of each sentence. If you want to blank me, burn really strong smelling blank in my house. Number 2, the city workers blank to pick up any more blank until they get a pay raise. Sorry, I just noticed Mario's. Are you making this up? I'm not making this up. Why would I make that up? Why would I make up a thing about gravy? No one jokes about gravy. We don't make jokes about gravy on this show. We're very serious about our gravy on this show. We find it very fashionable. A la mode even. Number 3, same but diff. Any golf professional will tell you, blank effort into your short game is as essential as good blank. It is a grave subject. Frites à la mode, poutine. Pretty much. Gratiné. Frites à la mode, gratiné. That's a fancy French way of saying poutine. You say frites à la mode, gratiné. It's basically fries with gravy and cheese. There you have it. That's same but diff. We were looking for 6 words, but really 3 because they're spelled, each pair is spelled exactly the same way. Let's take a look at the answers coming up for this one. Number 1, if you want to incense me, burn some really strong smelling incense in my house. Very small difference, slight difference in accents will change the meaning of that word. Number 2, same here. The city workers refuse to pick up any more refuse until they get a pay raise. Good for them. You know, you get your rights and you stick by them. Number 3. Putting some effort into your short game is as important as good putting. That's my favorite one of the night. Give yourself a point for each: incense, refuse, and putting. That's how I choose to say it. Gravy shot of the night. I just have to go make gravy now. I don't think I'll have time. What if I just take a teaspoon of the powder and mush it around in my mouth a bit with some water? Would that be satisfactory? Just like a teaspoon of gravy powder, or take some water like that, and I'll just do that. That's possibly the closest I can make it. And I probably inhale some of the gravy powder into my lungs and just cough for about 15 minutes. That's good TV right there. That's gonna make the replay reel, that's for sure. All right, let's go on to your next one. We've got a little bit of mystery happening. That was one of the categories that now everyone's wanting me to do a shot of gravy. We got one of the categories that Sue recommended or suggested for her birthday was mystery. So I went with murder mystery movies. Hopefully this is up your alley, everybody. Let's take a look at these right here. Who plays Detective Benoit Blanc in the star-studded 2019 movie Knives Out? Number 2 in the murder mystery category. What is the name of the man framed for the murder of his wife in the hit book and movie The Fugitive? Sue, I completely agree. That previous one was a great movie. Great movie. And finally, number 3 in the murder mystery movies category. What Agatha Christie murder mystery originated as a movie in 1974 and was remade recently in 2017? Murder, mystery, mayhem. There you go. That is your mystery category. 3 murder mystery movies. Let's take a look at the answers coming up for that. You're absolutely right. Knives Out was a great movie. Totally enjoyed it. And I love these good, these murder mysteries that are kind of Clue style. Everybody staying in one house. That was Daniel Craig doing a great Foghorn Leghorn impression. Number 2, we had Dr. Richard Kimball, played by Harrison Ford in the movie. The doctor that is framed for the murder of his wife, which it wasn't him, it was the one-armed man. And last but not least, we have Murder on the Orient Express, one of the most recognizable Agatha Christie murder mysteries, and remade just recently in 2017. There you go. 3 questions, 3 answers, 3 possible points going to you. I'll take a look at the board. I'm being advised that, yes, number 4 did not disappear, so I will force it to right now. There we go. And that leaves us with Sweet and Life on the Chain Gang in that order. After this, as your scores are flowing through the chat, we will take a short break after these 2 categories, coming back with another round of 10 more categories for you. So stick around tonight. I've got some amazing games. A lot of your favorites are in the second round, so please stay around for that. And don't forget, I've hidden the shot of the night somewhere in there, but feel free to do a shot of the night at any time in honor of Ms. Sue Perry, our guest of honor tonight. Happy birthday to you, and cheers to all of your friends for hanging out with Mack Flash Trivia and having some fun at trivia. Let's take a look at Sweet. Speaking of which, this is a picture round of famous Susans. I look for a lot of famous, first of all, Sue. Are you Sue? Are you Susan? Susie? Suzette? Are you Susanaqui? I don't know. Some name I've never heard before, maybe. But I gotta say, there's not a lot of Sues out there. There's a lot of Susans, though. So I was able to collect 5 of them. Some fictional, some real. So if you look at someone and go, but that person's name's not Sue, maybe they played a Suzanne or a Susan in some show or movie. So once again, identify the famous Susan. 5 of them coming up right now. I feel like I'm talking a lot. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Name the Susan. Doesn't look so good. And then this is that's how you play Sweet. 5 pictures of Susans, and all you had to do was identify them. If you wrote down Susan for each of them 5 times on your board, give yourself half a point for being witty and funny. Otherwise, let's take a look at the actual answers we were looking for. Some were fictional, some were real. All were Susans. Number 1, Susan Keene of Suddenly Susan. Fictional. There you go. Number 2, we have Susan Boyle, the singer. Number 3, we had another fictional one. It was Susan Meyer from Desperate Housewives, played by Terry Hatcher. We have Susan Sarandon coming in at number 4, and Susan Ross, the wife or the late ex fiance of George Costanza on Seinfeld. Give yourself a point for each of the Susans you got correct, and we'll see you back at the front with your scores in the chat. And some great points coming through here, especially for the Pizza Posse, 5 out of 5. And the Hookers with 3, Sneaky Sneak, 2.5 out of 5. Not gonna let go. You're not gonna not take that half point. You gotta take it. It's free. Gotta take that. We got ourselves Life on the Chain Gang coming up next. 9 possible points coming at you in this game, and then a short break where we're gonna come back after with another round of 10 categories. Let's take a look at Life on the Chain Gang. In this one, what I'm going to do in each box, I'm going to give you 5 words. The 3 in the middle contain blanks, and those are the ones I want you to figure out. Now, the trick is that you can use each word with the next one to form a common expression or saying. For example, here we've got Black Beauty, Beauty Sleep, Sleep Tight, and then Tight Spot. So you're gonna have to do that in each box, which means 3 possible points per box, 9 points total if you can nail this round. So take a look at your first one. Life on the Chain Gang starts with winding. Number 2. And finally, your final Chain Gang puzzle of the night. And a few extra seconds given there so you can top off those chain gangs. 3 of them per box, 3 boxes, which means 9 possible points if you wrote down the correct words. The one in the middle, I think, was intended to be the tough one, but let's take a look first at number 1. We were looking at Winding Road, Road Apple, Apple Core, and Core Strength. Hopefully you're able to pinpoint those words. Number 2, bit harder. Low growing, as in low growing plants, growing pain, pain relief, and relief pitcher. See, a little bit of sports in there. And finally at number 3, childproof, proof positive, positive feedback, and feedback loop. Ooh, bit of a tougher one there as well. But 9 possible points going to your team. So even getting 4 or 5 would really advance your score. Let's take a look at those scores in the chat and head back to the front for the break. And at this point, you're going to want to let us know as well what your total was for the entire round, just for fun to see what you got in there. I see some pretty good scores, some high scores, some low scores in this chain gang. So the one thing you can tell yourself, if you did not do well and you did not enjoy that, we don't have to do it again. It's already been done. All right, everybody, it looks like the game is out of 39 according to Michelle, so I will take your word for it on that. And everybody, please let us know what your score was. Coming back in just a little bit, so make sure you get yourself to the fridge, get another drink, go stretch your legs, go outside, do whatever you need to do, but come on back for round number 2 in just, let's say, 5 minutes. Yeah, let's give it 5 minutes. We'll be right back with game number 2 of Seriously Trivia. All right, everybody, welcome back to Seriously Trivia. My name is Francois, and I'm still your host. That's right, they haven't fired me yet. What do you mean soon? Producer again. Anyway, welcome back. This is round 2 of Seriously Trivia. I am Francois, your host, and we are getting ready to have some fun. If you haven't played yet or you joined us during the break, let me do a quick recap. You're going to need some writing utensils. Sounds weird to say like you're going to eat with a pen. You need some sort of pen, marker, paper, writing tools. You know what I mean. Jot down your answers and help me pick the categories as we play by shouting them out in the chat over here. When you do so, we're going to pick those categories. We're going to play the questions. There's 3 of them per category for about 25 seconds each or so, 25 seconds. You want to write those down, but not in the chat, because immediately after, I will reveal the answers. Ba-boom, bam. There they will be. You can mark your own sheet. Let us know in the chat what you got out of 3 and tally your score until the end so you can tell us how awesome you did on that round. If you're ready to go, let's play, everybody. Yes. Excuse me. You're very welcome, Sue. I'm glad you enjoyed that round. I even have some little leftover Sue birthday trivia coming up in round number 2. Just a little bit. I had to fit it in there somewhere. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's take a look at your categories. For number 1, we got former and the latter coming up. We've got Mystery Bus right over here, which has already been called, which I love. We've got one small change making its way back. Rare Birds. I love this game. Hard to write, but fun to play. Celebrity Verbiage is here, everybody. We got Singonyms as well. We've got Quiz On. We've got Songs in the Key Of. We got Brad Libs, everybody. And literally. We got this. Literally. All right, let's take a look at what you guys are writing down. I'm going to put this up right here, and I'm going to start writing down your great suggestions for ideas right here. Clock Tower Elgin. Clock Tower Elgin, is it the actual clock tower on Elgin in Ottawa? We got some songs coming at you, but before that we've got the Rebus Puzzles, followed after that by some Brad Libs. Yeah, we're gonna go right there to the Brad Libs. Then it's libraries. We got Mystery Bus. We already got written down. You guys are saying a lot of the... Okay, there's verbiage right there. Okay, and I'm going to write down the rest of these after we get started, because this is terrible television. Mr. Terrible Television, brought to you by Mack Flash. This is Mystery Bus, or Mr. Rebus Puzzle. Rebus puzzles are visual representation of common expressions or sayings. For example, here we've got the "Are you" in the word trouble. Are you in trouble? Are you in trouble? Well, you're not in trouble unless you pay attention. Let's take a look at these 3 Rebus puzzles coming up on the screen. Number 1. Number 2. And finally, number 3 in your Rebus puzzles. Thank you, AB. Final Fantasy trivia, eh? Well, I'll have to look into that. It's a new suggestion. It's unheard of. It's the first I hear of this, so I'm gonna have to see if I could put my best man on it. You know what? I will personally write you a Final Fantasy trivia. How about that? I will personally write it. we'll have to see how that turns out. We got your Rebus puzzles coming up right now with the answers, and I think I had some pretty good winners in there. Number 1, we had a bucket list. That's right, it was a list of synonyms for buckets, pails and scuttles and cans, and there you have it. We had Indiana Jones. Anna Jones was inside the D, or in D, Anna Jones. And number 3, 2 possible answers. If you said green peas, as in the food, yes. And if you said Greenpeace, as in the organization, that is also correct. So out of 3 points, give yourself, for the last one, give yourself a point for either of those. Give yourself 3 points if you got all of these answers. Let me know what you got in the chat. All right, and we're off with round number 2. Let's go on with our next game. It is songs in the key of. I was taking a look at the chat. Sorry, I was distracted. There's like dead air there. I was looking at your scores, and I realized I'm not on camera, so you don't know I'm looking. But 3 out of 3. Some 2 out of 3 for the pizza posse. We got the Dirty Schwa with 2. And some fine folks from Ottawa, watching all the way from Ottawa. Thank you so much for joining Mack Flash. I'll be Mack Flash will also now be airing in Sarnia as the Imperial City Brewing Company. Yeah, exclusively for them on Thursday nights as part of the Mack Flash streaming into bars sort of thing. It's like me hosting trivia in a bar, but doing it from my studio directly into that bar, and then players can play at that bar, and the bar will arrange that the scores will be tallied and prizes will be won and whatnot. It'll be like just like going to trivia night, except I'm hosting on the TVs. So that should be a lot of fun, and if you know of any bars who are looking for something like that, make sure to contact me, because I would be glad to do that. Coming up next, we just did the Rebus puzzles, so it is time for songs in the key of, and we have songs in the key of initials. These are songs by artists with initials in the name. As a matter of fact, the initials are not in the song, but in the artist name. So let's take a look here at your first question. Originally called The Management, this early 2000s band changed their name to what initials? Question mark. Frank, that's hilarious, because I actually thought someone was going to make that joke about, I'm watching this on a black and white TV. I never could have gotten green peas. Songs in the key of initials. Let's take a look at this one. Who has a song entitled Daft Punk is Playing at My House? In my house. And remember, this is songs in the key of initials. This is artists that have initials in the name. And finally, your number 3. Whether you knew this or not, this pop group's name is an acronym of each member's first initial. And that is songs in the key of initials. You should have written down some answers regarding artists that have initials in their name. Let's take a look at those answers, starting with number 1, MGMT. The Management, when they realized there was a band that already had that name, they just changed it to MGMT. Number 2, we've got LCD Sound System. They sing that Daft Punk is Playing at My House, and all sorts of other songs as well. We've got ourselves coming in at number 3, ABBA. I don't know if you knew this, the name ABBA, A-B-B-A, first initial of each person's or each member's name, first name. Give yourself a point for MGMT, LCD Sound System, and ABBA. Ooh, that was a Songs in the Key of. And while you guys are tallying your wonderful points over there, I want to tell you about another one of our sponsor. It is the Salty Dog. And there's talk of the Mack Flash Army invading the Salty Dog tomorrow. I'm down, baby. I'm down. Let's I don't know how we're gonna do this. We're gonna have to, between now and the end of the game, let's figure it out, because this place, it's also the weekend, which means we've got open air Amherstburg, or Amherstburg open air, whatever they call it, but extended patios is what that means. We got plenty of room, but it is quite a busy place because they've got delicious beer, some of the best food in Amherstburg, and just a great atmosphere. So if you want to go to the Salty Dog tomorrow, I will definitely make plans to be there, and maintain social distance and whatnot, but like I said, plenty of room on that patio. And make sure you do check them out. They open the patio at noon every day now. So that's also great news for everybody who wants to grab a quick bite and some cold beer. Let's take a look at your next category. Coming up, it is the heavily requested, much anticipated, and fun-loving Brad Libs. I couldn't come up with a third thing to describe Brad Libs. Brad Libs is like this. It's a puzzle where you have to fill in the blanks with a deconstructed movie. In this case, it's going to be a Whoopi Goldberg movie. I had to pick someone. The example here is based on the fact that this is called Brad Lives, because originally the exercise was done with Brad Pitt movies. So Brad Pitt movie being War Machine, you could say soldiers go to war with machine guns. In this case, you'll have to deconstruct a Whoopi Goldberg movie and word for word place it in the sentence in order for it to make sense. We're just looking, of course, for the movie title in this case, and it starts with this one. Chris always encouraged his blank to move out west and blank in Hollywood movies. Number 2, take a Whoopi Goldberg movie, break it apart, and insert the words in order for this to make sense. When the club started blank, DJ Draken unplugged his headphone blank in a blank. And finally, number 3 in the category of Brad Lives. If it didn't matter if it was a grown man or a young blank, Carol hated being blank while speaking. You are in this example, my friend. You are in this example. And there you have it. A little bit of Brad Libs happening with you with some Whoopi Goldberg movies. Let's take a look at how well you know Whoopi Goldberg movies and how, if you were able to place them in these sentences. Starting with number 1, the one that everybody was expecting, of course, Sister Act. He always encouraged his sister to move out west and act in Hollywood movies. Number 2, when the club started jumping, he unplugged his headphone jack in a flash. He wanted to hear that live music. Oh yeah, DJ Draken. And number 3, what do we got coming up? Girl interrupted. That's right. Whether it was a grown man or a young girl, Carol hated being interrupted when she spoke. Let's give yourself a point for each of those Whoopi Goldberg movies you were able to come up with. And I'll see you back at the front for more trivia. Don't forget to come back into the Games Lounge at 10 o'clock tonight. I'll put the link in the chat when we are done. And as well, if you have it, it's just right there on our YouTube page. And you can find the link to the Games Lounge. Each of us are going to be there. We're going to be bringing some different cards from different board games, playing with each other, and wait a minute, playing the games with each other, and playing with you, playing the games with you. You know what? Next category. We're going to do verbiage now because apparently I can't talk. So let's let the celebrities do it for me. This is celebrity verbiage. These are celebrities that have last names that are verbs. So using the last name of these celebs, which are also verbs, fill in the blanks. For example, here we would have Roger Waters after Robert Plant. Of course, these sentences will have a little bit more context to give you a sign of who I'm talking about and what words I'm looking for, but you'll get a point for each celebrity you can identify clearly. It's fun to watch Chevy blank the animals while Brittany blank them. Number 2. She brings him to parties because she knows Nicholas blank great conversations. In fact, Tyra blank on it. And finally, number 3 in celebrity verbiage. Movie actor and director Orson blank up every time he sees the art that Nancy blank. And that is celebrity verbiage. 1 point for each celebrity name you could identify in the context of those sentences. Let's take a look at those answers and see if you were able to come up with the right ones. Number 1, it's fun to watch Chevy chase the animals while Brittany spears them, or Bertini. Bertini. Yeah, it's a shorter version, cover act. Number 2, so a point for each of those, of course. Number 2, Nicholas sparks great conversation. Tyra banks on it. Sparks and Banks, a writer. Ooh, different kind of celebrity. And Orson wells up every time he sees the art that Nancy drew. Give yourself a point for each of those, and that one is out of 6 possible points. Chase, spears, sparks, Banks, wells, drew. Boom. That Nancy Pelosi. Nice. Yeah, that doesn't work. I did notice some people mentioning that they're wearing or waiting, not wearing, that would be impossible, but waiting for their merch to come in. That's right, I just popped the link right there in the chat as well. We now have a store. You can get yourself some Mack Flash merch. You can get a shirt just like this one. You can get baseball tees of all sorts of colors, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, hats, girls tees. We could get you can get some tank tops, and we even have masks. That's right, little Mack Flash masks with a little logo on there. Isn't that cool? So there you go. Show your pride as a Mack Flash fan by procuring yourself a little bit of something and wearing it around town, wherever that town may be. When people say, "What is that?" let them know and have them join us here on all of these nights like we do. All right, enough about that. Let's keep moving on. I know, it's signed original shirt, by the way, $500. You can have this one. We can have this one. I'm going to frame this one, as a matter of fact. This is one of 2 that I own, and that's it, of the originals. Aha! Celebrity verbiage is gone. It is time for one small change. We played this one a few weeks ago, and I thought I'd bring it back. In this one, I want you to fill in the blank with consecutive alphabetical letters to create 2 distinct words. For example, if I gave you this here, forge with a blank at the end, you could either put the R for forger or S for forges, as in the forger forges. And those 2 letters are consecutive in the alphabet, R, S. So you're gonna have to do that in the next 3 boxes. Come up with the 2 consecutive letters that can fill in this blank to create 2 distinct words. If you look at number 1, it starts like this. Number 2. And finally, number 3. And there you have it. For each blank, 2 consecutive letters of the alphabet could create 2 new words. Let's take a look at the ones you were able to come up with. The first one, wanted to see if you would come up with C and D for craftier or draftier. Number 2, we have valueless, of no value, or valveless, contains no valves. And number 3, we had pond, or the past tense of poo, which is pooed. That's right. That's what it is. It's a true word. Give yourself a point for each of these combinations you got correct. This is out of 3 because they were in fact consecutive letters. So once you got one, you should have had the other one. Pooed. I know. It doesn't look right, but there it is. Pooed. Somebody mentioned, we were talking about the merch, and somebody mentioned shots. I believe the shot of the night is coming soon. Well, it would have to be because there's only 5 categories left, and behind one of these is the shot of the night. But also, of all that merch, we also have separately, we'll have some shot glasses coming very, very soon for you guys. And we're getting plenty made, so hopefully we have enough for everyone. But I just saw what they're going to look like today, and they look pretty sweet. So we'll be able to all have our shots in beautiful Mack Flash shot glasses very soon as well. All right, let's keep moving with Rare Birds, a game that I like. I absolutely write. I love this game, but it's very hard to write because I never know how to search for it. These are questions about rare occurrences. For example, there's only 2 countries that have an X in it. That is Mexico and Luxembourg. So of all the countries in the world, only 2 of them have an X in it. These are all going to be questions about occurrences like that. So let's take a look at your first one. First rare bird. Not counting the Vatican, which is also known as the Holy See, there are 3 H countries. Name them all for 1 point. Number 2, there are only 2 common words in the English language with 3 consecutive sets of double letters, and they are related. Write one of them down. All you need to do is write one of these 2 down. And finally, number 3, Back to geography. Of the 49 landlocked countries in the world, only 3 are landlocked by a single country. Lesotho, San Marino, and what sovereign state? Landlocked by a single country. And that's your rare birds. That's right, rare occurrences and questions about them. Like I said, very tough to search because if you don't know what the rarity is, then it's impossible to search. Let's take a look at the answers I was looking for. The 3 countries, give yourself a point each for each one of these that you got correct. Countries that starts with H, except for the Holy See. We got Haiti, Honduras, and Hungary. There you go, 3 of them. At number 2, what is the only 2 words in the English language with 3 sets of consecutive 3 consecutive sets of double letters? That would be bookkeeping or bookkeeper. Very close, so that's why I only wanted one of them written down. And finally, at number 3, of the 49 landlocked countries in the world, only 3 are landlocked by a single country. And the one I was looking for, this sovereign state, it is the Vatican, which we mentioned in question 1, but it is completely landlocked by Italy. Give yourself a point for each of those, and that would mean that you are scoring out of 5 for that one. Yes, Holland is the Netherlands, unfortunately. So it doesn't officially. It's not that. It would have to be 3 consecutive sets. So Tennessee doesn't work, and neither does Mississippi, unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at, it looks like it's synonyms coming up next. This is very similar to bantonyms, and we played it over at Mack Flash Trivia on a, whether it was a Monday or a Wednesday, I forget. But this was your... Would you look at that, everybody? It's your shot of the night. Well, here we are. This is the time of the night where we come together in a random act of conviviality, coming together, if you will. Even though we're all sitting separately in our own houses right now, it's nice to do something that reminds us that we are part of a community, and so we do the shot of the night. Whether it's whiskey, wheatgrass, or water, as I like to say, you're welcome to join us, and just in the act of togetherness. I am still on this bottle of Crown Apple, so yeah, there's that. So this one goes out, of course, to Sue. Happy birthday, Sue, and all the best to you, and enjoy the rest of your summer and the rest of your birthday night. And I'll see you after in the Games Lounge. To your health, everybody. Meh, it's pretty good, I gotta say. It's got this little sweet thing, and pretty, I like it. It's good, it's good. And you know what? It's really cold, so that's what I like about it most. All right, sociables, everybody. Hood. Synonyms is here. Translate these band names by finding the synonym of each word. So just like in bantonyms, I would just take the antonym or the opposite of each of the words in a band's name. In this one, I took synonyms. So you have to look for similar words that would make up the real band's name. All right, I've explained it about 5 times, so let's just play the game. 23 centimeter spikes. I'm just getting word that, hold on, I'm just getting word that Nona did the shot of the night with us, everybody. I just want to let you know, Nona did the shot of the night with us, so that's pretty awesome. Cheers, Nona. Good to see you. Glad to see that you are watching the show. Thank you. Let's see if you know this synonym coming in right here. Rock Church Aeronauts. And number 3, labia ablaze. That sounds like a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race, as a matter of fact. What? They're all perfectly fine words that exist in the English language that mean things that are synonymous with other words that make up band names. And that was the spirit of Singing-Ems. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can cool down that labia of yours with these answers. Number 1, 9-inch nails. That's right, 23-centimeter spikes. Well, if you take up a synonym of that, we're looking at 9-inch nails. Number 2, Stone Temple Pilots were the Rock Church Aeronauts. The Rock Church Aeronauts. And last but not least, labia ablaze. It is Flaming Lips. The Flaming Lips. Give yourself a point for each of these bands. I was very excited. I was very excited for labia ablaze. I have to tell you, I giggled for a solid 2 minutes by myself in my office at that one. So give yourself a point for each of those, and hopefully you're laughing with me. Labia ablaze. It does sound like a RuPaul's Drag Race contestant. How about a moment to thank our title sponsor for the week, Littlefoot Foods. Make sure you do check out their website at littlefootfoods.com, and make sure you keep an eye on their Facebook page for the most recent update on their proceedings as a shop. I do know they have curbside pickup from Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 3, and all sorts of different ways you can get their signature pierogies, cabbage rolls, and stuffed peppers. So make sure you check out littlefootfoods.com, check out Littlefoot Foods on their page, and thank you to them for supporting Mack Flash once again. Pussy Riot for what? Who said Pussy Riot, and for what? Riot, yeah, riot is not a synonym for ablaze. Yeah, no. Well, I mean, one leads to the other, I guess. We have ourselves, I've got nothing written down here. I literally got nothing written down. Literally. I need former and the latter quiz on, or literally, and I'm looking for one, so I'm going to do this. Don't forget to check out the store, of course. Check out some of the merch. I know I'm going to be getting a lot of these baseball tees for sure, and you know, as soon as we know anything about the shot glasses, I will let you know. We have an idea for what we're going to do with that. Literally is coming up first, as it was requested twice. So let's do literally, and then it's going to be quiz, and then we're gonna finish it off with former and the latter. Let's take a look at literally first. I was hoping we'd finish with this one, but these are visual puns. That's right, 5 pictures of visual puns. Basically, maybe an expression, maybe a thing, something is being represented here in a form that it is not. So this is quite the opposite of literally, but it's a picture representation of an expression, a saying, a thing. I don't know. Take a look. 5 of them coming at you. You'll know as soon as you see number 1. Yeah, these are literally figurative. Figuratively literal? That's hard to say. literally figurative? Figuratively literal. Either way you look at it, you got the idea once you saw a few of them and realized, okay, I see what he's looking for. And hopefully you did see what I was going for, because that would give you some points, which is a good thing in this case. Let's take a look at the answers. The first one was a smart ass solving all of those equations like Good Will Hunting. Number 2, we have handbag, possibly the creepiest thing you'll see all week. Number 3, a double header. Oh, a little bit of sports terminology over here. This pitcher threw a double header. We have a crab apple coming in at number 4. And number 5, all those drinks were on the rocks. Give yourself a point for each of those, and let me know your score out of 5. We got Former on the Ladder Quiz On coming up next, and in that opposite order. We're going to be doing Quiz On first, and we're going to finish it off with Former and the Ladder. Don't forget once again to join us in the Games Lounge after this at 10 o'clock. All of us are bringing a card from a different board game and taking our turns hosting it for each other and for you. Looking forward to your witty comments, your smart aleck remarks, and of course having a few drinky poos in the Games Lounge with you. Let's go to Quiz On while we quiz on libraries. There it is, finally. The questions about libraries. And I've got 3 of them coming at you. Happy birthday once again, Sue, and thanks for spending it with us here. And really cool that you decided to do it on a Friday night with everybody else and inviting everyone in the group to share with your birthday. So I think that's really cool. Let's take a look at these 3 questions about libraries. Hopefully they're good for you and accessible for everybody else. On Parliament Hill, to which of the blocks is the Library of Parliament of Canada attached? The East, West, or Center block? Number 2. In what movie do the heroes first encounter a full torso apparition in a library? And finally, possibly the most niche question I've ever asked at one of these trivias. Let's take a look. I expect 2 of you to get this. What is the subject of a book having the Dewey Decimal number 999, the last major number a book could have? That was Quiz on Libraries. Give you a little extra time there with my little dance at the end for putting those, as they say, crossing those I's and dotting those T's. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at your answers for Quiz on Libraries. 3 different questions. One of them super easy. The other 2, not so much. The Library of Parliament of Canada is attached to the center block. It is, in fact, the only original portion remaining of that building. Ha! Look at that. Number 2, Ghostbusters starts with a full torso apparition in the library, and then the whole plan, of course, is get her being the plan. And last but not least, 999 would be a book about extraterrestrial worlds. Let me know if you got that. I expect most of you to not get it, but if somebody did get that, chime in, please. Point for each. And And looking at the scores coming in, it looks like we've got a couple of 2s. We got a 1 and no 3s so far. Mr. Librarian is coming for me. I put that one in there for him. I figured it was him and Sue would be definitely in on that Dewey Decimal System question. If anything, it's one of those questions that leaves you with that, huh, well, that's cool to know. Yeah, I didn't know that. Take a look as well. I remember learning about the Dewey, but no one ever told me the reasoning behind the numbers and the ranges. There's a whole like reasoning behind it, and it's really cool. Former and really cool. I'm gonna stick with what I said, yeah. Former and the Ladder is coming up next, your next and final game of the night. 9 possible points to be made here. In each box, I'm going to give you 3 hints. The hints have answers that are 1 letter off from each other. For example, here, if I said protective building, you could say a fort, followed by a stinky gas. You would change 1 letter to a fart. And finally, if you have at the grocery store, you would find a cart. So we're gonna do that in each box 3 times, and that means you can get 9 possible points to finish off this game. Let's take a look right here. Four-letter word, a short golf swing, a karate move, and a British man. Number 2, it's a 5-letter word, goes well with burgers, heard in the night, MTV home sightseeing show. And finally, number 3, Informer and the Ladder. Going back to a 4-letter word, to assist someone, where bad people go, and Jack and Jill's destination. And that was your Former and the Ladder, 9 possible words coming at you, and all of them in trios that were 1 letter off from each other. Let's take a look at the answers I was looking for this game. Starting with number 1, we had ourselves a chip, or a very short golf stroke. We have chop, a karate move, and chap, a British man. Chip, chop, chap. That's just fun to say. Number 2, we have fries that go well with burgers. We have cries that are heard in the night. Dark. And we have Cribs, the MTV show about sightseeing people's homes. And finally, go back to a 4-letter word. We have help, to assist someone where the bad people go. They go to hell. And Jack and Jill, we're going up a hill. Give yourself a point for each of those, and I expect some pretty high scores on this one, and I feel like it was a pretty accessible one myself. And look at all those 9s coming into the chat. That is amazing to see. And thank you very much for playing, everybody. Make sure you do share your total score in the chat with everybody else, for everybody else to see, so that you know exactly where you stand tonight. And I think we had some pretty high scores in round number 1, and some amazing scores in round 2 as well. Make sure you do join us in the Games Lounge. I will go get the link right now and share that with you in the chat, so that you can join us there. We'll be discussing the finer points of the Dewey Decimal System, of course, and playing some board games, more importantly. Excuse me, that's been sitting there for about 5 minutes. Don't forget to join us there because we'll be playing some board games together and with you, of course. If not, make sure you keep your ear to the Mack Flash Entertainment Facebook page and Instagram for all the news. And have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you very, very soon, if not tomorrow night at the Salty Dog. My name is Francois. I've been your host, and I'll see you next time on Mack Flash Trivia. Bye-bye. Gotta get that gravy shot. Gotta get that gravy shot ready. Looks like this game was out of 43 for round 2, and looks like a full 82 for the game. Happy birthday, Sue. Thank you for spending it with us and inviting us all to your birthday party. That was a great time. And hopefully you can make it to the Games Lounge. Did I do that yet? Did I give you the link? Here it is. There's a link to the Games Lounge right there. We'll see you in just about 25 minutes in there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. It's right there in the corner. It's red. You just click on it and say subscribe, and that's it. You're done. Thank you, everybody.